If we was to fight right now on the streets, I'll break your fucking neck. And that's on my kids. And you know it, I know it, and the whole world know it. And I'm not talking about no fighting in the ring. If me and you was to fight outside, I will break your neck.
This was never part of the plan. The event was supposed to be a routine press conference for Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, two of boxing's biggest names, meant to hype their upcoming fight, trade a few words, and then call it a day. But things spiraled out of control fast. The chaos didn't come from Canelo or Crawford, it came from Gervonta "Tank" Davis. Out of nowhere, he stormed the stage, stirred up a scene, and then, in front of the cameras, Dana White, and the entire boxing world, punched Terence Crawford. Just like that, the spotlight shifted. The press conference wasn't about the fight anymore, it became a full-blown spectacle.
Saying that he wants you, things like that. Does that stuff just sound crazy, or just like I'm supposed to be called out?
When you look at all the great fighters, they was getting called out by everybody from different weight classes, so it's nothing, that I'm not surprised about.
Tank would be something that, he said he'll touch your chin and...
Man, everybody say, what they'll do, but Tank is in his weight class for a reason, and I don't see him come up to 147 to face me no time.
The New York stop on the Canelo vs. Crawford tour had all the ingredients of a blockbuster fight event: two undisputed champions, flashing cameras, a charged atmosphere, Dana White in the crowd, and the eyes of the entire boxing world locked in.
Canelo, what did you think about the shove, that moment that happened on stage?
I'm turning it on right now.
Right? Yeah. Did it make you want to go harder for the 13?
I don't know, but made me feel more excited.
Love it.
When I trained so far.
For weeks, anticipation had been building. Crawford was making the bold leap up 2 weight classes, while Canelo stood ready to defend his crown at 168 pounds.
Turkey, you need to put a small ring, the smaller ring in the...
The only, hey man. Yeah. The only running that I'm gonna be doing is running upside his head, and I can assure you that. Facts. And he got a big head too.
But beneath the spotlight and spectacle, a different kind of tension was quietly simmering, one that had nothing to do with belts or divisions. It was the growing friction between Gervonta Davis and Terence Crawford.
He would never even think about to come up to 154.
What about 47 though?
Yes, if he get to pick his opponent. But Tank would never come from 35 to 54.
Y'all got into it on social media around that time. Is that just you being competitive, like when that happens? Or
Man, I just really don't like that dude.
Why though?
Cause I just don't like him. Like, I really don't like him. That's like...
It's not your cup of tea, that's just not your...
I don't like nothing about him. I just felt like, he just... one of these little arrogant little dudes that's using what he got to shield him. He got a lot of security guards around him, and he's in the limelight and stuff like that, but in certain situations he wouldn't be acting like that.
Do you like him as a fighter though?
Yeah, he's a damn good fighter.
Yeah.
But like his core personality and his ways.
They weren't scheduled to fight, but the tension kept escalating, amplified by every headline, every interview, until it finally reached a breaking point.
Gervonta Davis said you need the money.
Shit.
What's going on with you and Gervonta?
If I'm a boxer, he a boxer, you a boxer, we all need the money.
I ain't doing it for free.
Thank you.
What if Gervonta said, hey, I'll come up to 154. I come up to 154 while you talking.
Oh man.
You go to you'll find Gervonta at 154?
I wish him the best. That's all I'm gonna say.
Why do they come? Is it because they feel they need to come for the guy that seems like he's on the top right now? And right now, you're the guy on the top, so everybody's taking Ryan Garcia saying Canelo gonna beat Bud.
They train together. He supposed to say that.
That was the question on everyone's mind. Why was Gervonta Davis even there? He wasn't on the undercard, and no announcements involved him. But his rivalry with Crawford had been simmering long before the Lamont Roach fight.
The moment to kind of wrap your brain around that and make... Kalliaskis comes forward, and but Crawford was hurt.
After Tank's controversial loss, Crawford didn't mince words. He called out the knockdown, claimed Tank had been exposed, and argued that the hype surrounding him outweighed his actual accomplishments.
Bro, when people, what I got from that is he's a hater. You don't know me as a person. The thing you don't like me, like you don't know me, like you feel me? And I don't give a fuck. Him. And everybody else too. I mean, what?
And Tank didn't stay silent either. So when he heard Crawford would be in New York, on stage, under the lights, with cameras broadcasting coast to coast, he saw his moment. Not to talk, but to send a message with a punch. Here's how it all went down. Canelo and Crawford had just wrapped up their face-off. Cameras were flashing, and the crowd was buzzing but still contained. Then Crawford turned to leave the stage, and that's when everything shifted. In an instant, the energy in the room snapped.
On the streets, you and Canelo, what would it look like?
Come on, man. Y'all know what I do. I ain't got to talk about it on the streets. I'm me against anybody. I ain't never gonna say another man gonna whoop me. So, you know what I mean? That's your answer right there.
I guess in Guadalajara, you think it'd be a little different on the streets if Terence came to town?
I think every city, every place is different, no? It's different. But we don't talking about the streets. We're talking about boxing, the beautiful sport of boxing. So that's different, way different than the streets.
Gervonta Davis emerged from the side of the stage, sudden, unexpected. Within seconds, chaos erupted. Security froze, caught off guard. No one knew why he was there or what he intended. But before anyone could move, Tank had already closed the gap. Then, without a word or warning, Tank unleashed a clean, powerful right hand. It wasn't a shove or a slap, it was a full-on punch. Crawford staggered but held his ground. Canelo instinctively stepped forward, Dana White shouted for security, and the crowd erupted into chaos. Crawford was already preparing for the biggest fight of his life, jumping up 2 weight classes to face Canelo Alvarez, all while carrying the weight of being the hunted. He didn't need this kind of distraction. But Tank delivered it anyway.
Listen, I call Canelo out because, like I said, he the last great fighter amongst the era that surpassed us. You know, the Floyd, the Pacquiao, the De La Hoya. We both came up in that era, and he was right there with those fighters, and he got the chance to fight the Miguel Cottos, the Floyd Mayweathers, and you know, the Kovalevs and Triple Gs, and I wasn't able to get those mega fights. You know, so this is my mega fight. This is my moment, and that's the reason why I want to fight an all-time great like Canelo.
Now, let's shift to Canelo versus Crawford, because Tank wasn't the only one going after Crawford. Canelo made his move too. Yep, the Mexican superstar shoved him during the face-off. Crawford stayed calm and collected. Rather than shaking him, Canelo's shove only fired him up. It became fuel for his fight. Now, let's dive into what all this really means for Bud Crawford.
I feel I got the speed over Canelo. I got the reach over him. He might got the size, the power. I got the better skills, boxing skills.
Would it be more of a cat and mouse? The reality is Canelo does put people out. From Kirkland to Amir Khan to just...
Don't I'm just saying, man.
No, but he's not Kovalev.
Kovalev was older. He
Billy Joe.
does, don't get me wrong, he does have a lot of power. But all those guys that you name is not as skillful as me. I'm sorry. No disrespect to none of those fighters. The skill level is not there.
So how do you see a fight with Canelo?
It's a tough fight. Canelo is a great fighter. Like, I always have respect for Canelo. I just believe in my skills. The fact that people doubt me, it just fueled me even more. Try to get the fight even more. And I'm watching him, I'm like, man, I can beat this dude. I've been fighting people bigger than me all my life, and I always came out on top. You gonna get hit. It's a fight. He gonna get hit too. It'll be good.
This isn't just a step up in weight, it's like diving headfirst into the lion's den. Canelo has taken on fierce opponents at 168, and even at 175, his power hits at a whole different level. Just ask Caleb Plant, Billy Joe Saunders, or Sergey Kovalev.
A lot of people that say that Crawford can beat Canelo, no problem. I mean, I respect that, but I just think they're stupid. I mean, excuse my language. The size difference of a bigger man changes everything with one punch. And I can see the same thing. I mean, you saw Canelo Alvarez fighting Amir Khan. Now, look at this. Terence Crawford moved from 47 to 54 to fight Madrimov. What did he do to Madrimov? Nothing. Okay, Madrimov was a 54-pounder. Now, to move up to 168, that's 2 more divisions. Canelo Alvarez will take any punch from Crawford, but I don't think Crawford will take any punches from Canelo. Remember, Canelo got hit by Triple G, the heaviest hitter in that division. And Canelo took those shots like a champ. I don't think Crawford has anything to beat Canelo.
Crawford, by contrast, began his career at 135 pounds. Let that sink in. He's moving up 3 entire weight classes from his lightweight roots.
Let me tell you what I think should be going. The notion that Terence Bud Crawford should move up 3 weight classes, 21 pounds, to fight Canelo Alvarez. He's entirely too small. Jermell Charlo already proved that. Y'all remember that scene from Rocky? Remember that scene from Rocky 2? When Carl Weathers was Apollo Creed and his trainer was like, can I be honest? I saw you beat this man within an inch of his life. And he kept coming. He wouldn't go away. He's wrong for us, baby. He's wrong. Let it go. Apollo couldn't do it. And lost fight number 2. Trained him for fight Rocky 3. And then got killed in Rocky 4 by Drago. Because he couldn't let it go. Bud Crawford needs to let it go. Too small.
Many experts are concerned for Crawford. They wonder what might happen if he takes a solid shot from Canelo, whether to the ribs or the chin. This isn't Spence or Porter, this is Canelo, the pride of Mexican boxing, packing knockout power in both hands.
It is my biggest concern when it comes to Terence Bud Crawford, when people, for some reason, keep mistakenly comparing him to Floyd Mayweather when it comes to being an elusive fighter. Terence Crawford and Boots Ennis have a similar approach to boxing. They are boxer punchers, and it's because Terence Crawford was too big and too strong for most of the opponents. He was too athletic too. Foot speed, hand speed, just too accurate. Physically, probably the best athlete in the boxing world. He does the same thing, which is why he's been dropped, which is why he's been blocked, which is why he gets hit a lot with consecutive punches. You saw him just magic bucks, you saw the type of punches he was getting landed on from Showtime Sean Porter, right? Because he's used to bullying cats. And that's what I'm concerned about with him versus Canelo Alvarez.
Rolly Romero had strong doubts about this matchup. But Andre Ward believes Crawford has what it takes to beat Canelo. Here's the twist, Crawford has been here before. Every time he moves up in weight, critics say he's too small, but every time, he proves them wrong and dominates.
They talk all the crazy stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won. He went up and lost. You know, so let's not do that, Canelo.
He didn't just beat Spence, he embarrassed him, making it look like a sparring session. Now, Crawford is bigger, stronger, and more dangerous than ever. The big question is, will his skill and boxing IQ carry him through at 168 pounds, or will the added weight finally prove too much?
Terence Crawford has had 1 fight above 147 pounds, and everyone, including Terence Crawford, will tell you that was not his finest performance against Israel Madrimov. He is older than Canelo, he is coming up in weight, he is coming off a long layoff. I can't look at Canelo Williams' school and say, you know what, Canelo is too far in a decline to beat Terence Crawford. Not until I've seen what Terence Crawford looks like at 168 pounds.
Yeah, same here. And even though we could see Canelo Alvarez diminishing, we're still going to favor him because he's been in there with the bigger, stronger men. Crawford's not going to be able to hurt him. Crawford will be able to pepper him up, win rounds. Like I tell you, I have an image of Canelo Alvarez after the fight. He's going to be bloodied and bruised because he's going to get pot shot. He's going to throw 2-3 punches, pepper him up, and then get an angle. Then once Canelo starts realizing I'm falling behind here or I'm getting hit too much, I gotta do something great, that's when Crawford's gonna have to get on his.
Terence Crawford isn't just preparing for a brutal fight with Canelo, he's fighting 2 battles at once. Inside the ring, he faces one of the most lethal punchers of this generation. Outside the ring, there's Gervonta Davis, throwing punches without a fight on the schedule.
I got a question for you, Tank. At 147, how does a fight with you and Terence Crawford look?
147?
147.
I tapped that chin. You know he going to sleep.
I already know. I already know who he is. I already know who he is.
You said no chin.
I got round 5.
Yeah, I got round 6.
We'll go with that. I'm going to put my money around 6.
It's a mind game on both sides. And as they say, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, so you can bet Tank is rooting hard for Canelo to take Bud Crawford down.
Now you're going to be able to do it by the come fight night.
I know Turkey is in your corner, but look, it's going to be very difficult. He's going to be so mad that day. Believe me.
I see you.
You see I'm different.
But here's the twist, the saying doesn't just apply to Canelo. Another player has just stepped back into the spotlight, Floyd Mayweather. Floyd has taken shots at both Canelo and Tank, calling Canelo easy work and reigniting an old rivalry. As for Tank, their history runs deep. Floyd once hailed him as the future face of boxing, but ego clashes, delays, and drama turned the student into the rebel.
I remember first hearing an issue between Floyd and Gervonta before Gervonta fought Pedraza. And the issue I heard was that Floyd didn't want Gervonta to stay in Baltimore because he felt there was too many distractions for him in Baltimore and he wanted to stay in Vegas. And the story I was told at that time was that Floyd gave Gervonta one of his penthouses or one of his apartments in the Palms Hotel. And he said, this is your apartment. I'll furnish it for you. He got him a Jeep. At the time, Gervonta was not a world champion. He got him like a Jeep, a 4x4. You know, he basically said, I'll make it comfortable for you. I don't want you to go to Baltimore. I want you to stay here. I don't think Baltimore is a place for you, you know? And what I was told was Gervonta sold all the furniture, sold the Jeep, and went back to Baltimore and bought a Benz. You know, that's what I was, that's what I was told at the time. So
now, with Tank often crossing the line, like dragging Bud's family into it, Floyd was asked if Tank had gone too far. Without missing a beat, Floyd took Crawford's side. The silence between them was officially shattered. Some say Tank's punch was disrespectful, others see it as a calculated move. Maybe Tank's trying to rattle Bud, or maybe he's just desperate to reclaim the spotlight after his damaging loss to Lamont Roach. He didn't look dominant or unbeatable. In fact, he looked human, slower, unprepared, and vulnerable. Roach wasn't intimidated by Tank's power. In the 9th round, when Roach sent Tank to one knee, the referee ruled it a slip rather than a knockdown, sparking widespread frustration. Many believe that if the call had been correct, Roach might have taken the win.
Tank did that, so I know the got in his eye, but they should have counted it. They would have counted it, it would have went to Lamont Roach. What I didn't like about Tank, he was gassing up Lamont Roach way too much, and he was already talking about like retiring.
He did a little distracted in the fight.
That wasn't the same Gervonta Davis we're really used to seeing.
It just lets you know how corrupt like these governing bodies are, bro. If that dude took a knee, not only did he take a knee, he's like, hold on real quick. Let me get this out of my eye. How is that not a point? Like,
you know, funny thing, bro, that's why I cut my braids off. I had braids, and I had the same thing. I went through the same when I fought Andre. That burning my eyes, so I cut that.
Tank walked away undefeated, but just barely. Roach, meanwhile, became the people's champion. Since then, Tank's life has been a whirlwind of legal troubles, media drama, retirement rumors, and bizarre exhibition talks with Jake Paul. He's still cashing checks, but he's clearly losing his grip.
Tank Davis, Lamont Roach. I think we need to start with that one.
Yeah.
What transpired in that fight was astounding because you have to remember Tank Davis was a 16-1 favorite going into this fight. Lamont Roach, while a WBA champion, was moving up from 130 pounds and no one thought he had a chance. And the general demeanor of Tank Davis going into this fight was like, hey man, I'm kind of done with this. I got 3 fights left. I'm going to be done by the end of 2025. I don't really like this sport anymore. Kids, don't do this. Go into soccer.
That's a wrap for today's video. If you liked what you saw, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a future upload. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, we'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.